anymore now. It tends to be more on my project stuff. But we've come to Italy and we weren't meant to get a BYD, we were actually meant to get a Lancia Epsilon. But we've got a BYD Seal 6. I've got some notes here. I'm just trying to sort of give an honest review of how we've had the car and our experiences with it. So it's quite a low spec vehicle. It's the standard plug-in hybrid version, which has a 10 kilowatt hour plug-in battery, which can do about 34 miles WLTP range on it. It does about 900 miles-ish between the electric motors and also the petrol power, which is very good for a vehicle of this size with a 1.5 litre engine, so it's pretty nice. Power delivery as well, it picks up quite well at low speeds, and yeah, it cruises quite well on the motorway. But the only slight issue with it is it's quite a large car for the Italian roads, which is a little bit of a shame compared to Lancia or something like a Panda. But it is a good vehicle in summary. If we come around and have a look at the wheels on it as well. So these are the standard wheels, which are, as you can see here, they're fairly simple wheels, but they are only 17 inches. Which in today's sizing isn't too bad, and I prefer these over the higher spec cars, which come with 18 inch. I think this gives you more tyre here, as you can see on the road. It gives you a bit more cushioning, especially with potholes and stuff, more in the UK than in Europe. Then the higher spec cars also come with a panoramic sunroof, which I think would benefit this car, just because the cabin can be a bit dark in the back compared to having the sunroof. Some of the vehicles that you would compare this to potentially are the BMW 330e or the 530e. That's about £46,000 at current pricing, compared to this base model, which is about £34,000, and the higher spec model, which has a 19 kilowatt hour battery and a range of 65 miles WLTP on that bigger battery. So obviously you can run that more on electric power. With the sunroof, the 18 inch wheels, you get a 360 camera, whereas with this one you don't. Then if you come into the cabin on the right side here, some of the things also on the interior that are different is on the higher spec cars, where the two phone slots are there, you do actually get a wireless charger. On this base model you don't unfortunately get one, which I think is a bit of a lost opportunity there, and I would go up to that higher spec just to even have that. You also get heated and cooled seats as well with that higher spec, and a heated steering wheel as well, which in today's modern age is quite a nice amenity to have. And that higher spec is about £37,000. You can also get the option, so the two interior colours are black with a grey interior, and the other option is a blue with a black interior. So those are kind of your options there for interior colours. Then if we come around, those do come within an electric model as well, fully electric, but they also come as this saloon, and they do also come as a hatchback, which for us would have been slightly better. As you can see in here, the boot space does go back a fair amount, but we've got 3 large suitcases, and you do unfortunately have to fold the seats. You can't even get 2 next to each other, and I'll include some pictures of that later. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame really. And under the boot floor, as you can see there, due to the hybrid battery, you don't have any space for your charging packs. So you've got your 3-pin plug charger which goes into the wall, and you've also got your fast charger there as well. So it's just a shame that those don't really have a proper space for them. Does mean encroaching on your boot space, unfortunately. Then the, yes, we've gone through the interior. Some of also the other vehicles that would give you another option to look at is the Toyota Prius plug-in hybrid, which is about £37,000 on the road, or the Mercedes Benz C300E, which is 52,000, so obviously a bit more of a premium car, and the Peugeot 508 PSE, which is £55,000 on the road. Obviously prices will vary, so it's 2026 at the minute, so obviously those prices can go up and down. So yeah, so that's the sort of outside, and it comes in several colours, this being the sandstone colour, which is what I would call the taxi colour in Germany. So it's kind of an off-white, but it's quite a nice colour to have. The other options, the second free option is a polar white, so obviously just a white finish, obsidian black, which is a 1,100 extra pound option, and also the same with the blue as well. That is another 1,100 pound option to have. But yeah, the two free colours in today's market. There's no grey on there, so in my books that's kind of a win. Yeah, if we come around onto this side, and I can show, so I'm 6'2", so I'm fairly tall. But if I get to the back here, I've got a decent amount of knee room here. This is slightly, so that's in my driving position there, the driver's seat. Passenger seat's a little bit back, but it's not too bad. Headroom, well, I've got enough headroom in the back. I don't feel uncomfortable in here, and the seat belt obviously comes across. And that's not too low as well, because on some cars the seat belts can slightly cut into your neck, I find. But this feels nice and comfortable. You've got some nice touch lights up here, which come on when you open the door. And you've got a nice little armrest here with cup holders, which is good. And you've got two USB-Cs down there and two air vents, which is really nice to see in a vehicle like this. It's also a 60-40 rear split on those seats. So it does mean you can split the driver's side, because we're in Europe, seats down and leave the passenger one up, which is good for us as the luggage space is quite small. The interior is quite simple. It's got some nice door speakers there, which is really nice to see. Manufacturers seem to be taking out our speakers, and you've also got a little tweeter up there, which is really nice to have. Sound system is fairly decent. It's nothing too special, but it does its job, which is nice to have. And then I also just want to go through a couple of bits on the key. Now, I'm one of these people who picks up the key, and I always kind of have that feeling, and it's the first thing you kind of see on the car. So it's a very simple key with BYD branding on it, and then flipping it over, you've got your lock, unlock, and your boot release. And this button here, I'm not sure in the UK whether we're allowed it or not, but it's remote start. You hold it down, and the vehicle will, as you can hear in the background, come on, and your air conditioning will start. It's a really nice feature to have, especially in Italy, where it can be really hot. It just gives you that nice cooling, refreshing air. And yeah, it's just nice to have as an option. There is also the phone app for the vehicle as well, which is a just nice thing, and you can connect it, I believe, and there will be features up there. Then if we get into the vehicle, I'll go through some of the infotainment on the system here. So the infotainment screen is like modern cars now. There are a few buttons down on the lower part here, which is your mode selection. So sport, snow, eco, normal. I don't feel that the sport really makes much of a difference, but it's there. You've got your hazard warning lights there, and you've got the A button here, which adds regenerative braking. It also acts similarly to one pedal drive. I did turn it off because in a lot of these modern cars, if the feature's on, you don't have creep, which is where the car kind of, you take your foot off the brake and it starts going, which is quite a nice feature. Then you can switch between your EV and your hybrid settings here, so you can have it in permanent EV or have it between. Basically it will automatically change between its hybrid and its electric. And then you've got your heated rear window there, which is also good. And then your engine start stop is there as well, and your volume control for the radio. And then coming up to the actual main display here, there's quite a lot going on with it. I haven't gone through the menus that much. I do find it is a little bit fiddly to do when you're driving, so something that I would recommend is setting it up before you go. But you can go into the menus here, and you can go through some of the apps, and you've got your radio under some of the settings here, and you've also got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that comes on obviously this lower spec and also the higher spec, which is really nice to have. So as you can see there, it will come up and it's all wireless, which is really good to see. I like the feature. And yeah, it's fairly simple. There are also some optimizations you can do. The only thing that I would say is a little bit complicated is, I'll even try and do it now, is things like headlights. You then have to go through the menu. I can't remember exactly how you do it. No, it's not that button there. Let me have a think. So you can go into the menus and find it. I believe settings for some reason, and you can change your lights from there to the different positions. They are set to auto. Also your rear fog is in there as well. I think that is a silly place to put headlight adjustments, just because it's in a menu. It shouldn't be in a menu, it should be on a stalk. And also the same with the door lock options. You've also got your sort of display settings and audio settings, your energy as well, so you can see how your charge is doing, and you can adjust that as well, which is really nice. And then you've got obviously your steering and your braking and different bits like that, and just you can turn off your traction control if you really wanted to. It's not a sports car by any means, but it does the jobs there. It also has all the pre-collision stuff, and whilst we're on that subject of pre-collisions, the ADAS system on this is too intense on the car. When you're driving, it comes up to tell you you're not looking at the road when you are. The speed warning is quite aggressive. I mean, you get that now in most cars. I think for me the most frustrating thing is, and the reason why I potentially wouldn't get one as a daily car, would be the ADAS system where it's looking at you and telling you you're not doing certain things. I mean, I daily drive older cars. I have my Panda, which came out, that model actually came out in 2015, which has none of these features, so I'm used to not having them. I just think it can promote potentially driving that isn't as good as it could be as you become more lazy to it. But that's my personal opinion on it. Yeah, I think that kind of rounds up our review on the BYD Seal. It's a decent car if you're a taxi driver. I think it's a good car. For a family car, if you're not that interested in cars, potentially is for you. I mean, in my head I'd be looking at an Alfa Romeo Giulia with a 2-litre engine, but it doesn't have a hybrid powertrain. And obviously for some people that hybrid powertrain, plug-in hybrid with that really good range as well is good. But also it doesn't have, with some of the new tax laws in, you might be hit by those, unfortunately, with pay per mile. But we'll just have to see how that plays out. But that is everything on the BYD Seal. Thanks for watching.